Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Adappa11 here with another action figure review. This time we're going back to 2007 and we're going to go ahead and visit the 25th anniversary line of the G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Now this is Medic, codenamed G.I. Joe Doc, and he is a character that I like and can relate to a great deal. Not being a doctor, but a former pre-hospital healthcare provider, I understand the need to provide healthcare, whether it be trauma or illness, anywhere. So I dig Doc. Now, I had sold my G.I. Joe collection, which was absolutely enormous, and if you want to see any of it, you would have to go into my playlist and look at the very earliest videos of mine. But for reasons I won't discuss now, but perhaps maybe in a future blog, I sold 90-some-odd% of the collection. Why I sold my loose stock, I don't know. I do know, but I sold them in themes. So I'm very happy to have another one and to open them up and use them in my collection for what I have in store. So here we have the back of the card, the file card that is, and we can see the different type of figures that come in this wave, and I had every single one of those guys at one time, but still have a couple of them. So anyways, let's take a look at the card back here. Now we have Medic, G.I. Joe, codename G.I. Joe Doc. File name was Carl W. Greer. Now I'm looking forward to it someday getting the character of his daughter. She apparently has an action figure line, but I think it's around the $50 range. But we can see here, I'll let you pause it, and you can read his military specialties, primary, secondary, birthplace, etc. So, yeah, there we go. You can pause that and read it if you want, and then we'll go ahead and open it up and review G.I. Joe Doc. Okay, so here we have Carl W. Green, aka Medic, codename G.I. Joe Doc. Now he was a grade 03, or a captain, and his primary medical or military specialty was a medical doctor. And his secondary military specialty was a chaplain's assistant, as a matter of fact. On the file card it states that he's a pacifist, which was illustrated through the comic series and even the Sunburst cartoons. To tell you the truth, I can't even find out what this weapon is. Now, I looked on Wikipedia, and there's just, if anybody can find out or knows, if you could leave the answer in the comments section, we'd be greatly appreciative of finding out what exactly this is. At first, I thought perhaps some kind of mortar, but he's a pacifist, it wouldn't seem likely. Second, some kind of it's not any CPR assistant machine, or as they say in the streets, or what's known as an automated defibrillator. Not the automatic defibrillator, the AED, but there's another type of automatic cardiopulmonary resuscitation machine for compressions, for chest compressions. And in the streets, EMS personnel call it the geezer squeezer. And it's inappropriate. But those of us who have done some time in EMS, we just have a darker sense of humor. So that doesn't look like it would do anything for CPR or chest compressions. So I don't really know what it is. Other than that, his other accessories would be this. Wow, it's really in here. I put it in here. And let me see if I can crumb. That was really in there. Okay. So his other weapon was this, I suppose this would be, to me I think it looks like some kind of flare gun. One tone, no secondary colors. Looks like I might have scratched the end of there trying to get that out. Okay, so anyways, then he has this pouch right here. Or not pouch, this bag. Probably for medical equipment and whatnot. Gosh, I can't think of the name that you would call it out in the streets. Gosh, I don't know. Satchel. So it's got some paint detail, and he's got it on the belt, or I should say the buckle right here, as you can see. He's got nice detail, I think, on the paint. the buckles. You see the painting. He has his sleeves rolled up a little bit. Here are his pain medication or whatever other kind of medication pill capsules, containers. That's kind of funny. As a child, I never knew what those were. So he's got his medication stored up at his helmet. And he's got different pouches and whatnot. He has a hole in the back for the backpack. A backpack if you had a one for him. And here he has his cot. He doesn't have a gurney, he has a cot, old school. MASH style, 4077. So here we have a little bit of color. As you can see, these mechanism of whatever they are, they're probably supposed to be, you know, who knows, protective covering for whatnot. Pouches, just based off of, or modeled off of some old school 80s, 70s, 60 to 80s style of gurney or cot, handles and whatnot. So not much detail for that. Now his articulation goes as follows. He's ball joint let's take a look at the glasses that do not come off. Not much to the hairstyle. Somewhat clean cut. Something else I liked about Doc was the fact that he also had some desert training from a desert training unit per his profile card. And of course, I'm from the desert and live in the desert. So, like characters like this and Dusty Eyes, like, whoops, sky fell again. I want the sky falling. Gosh, everything's falling apart. So I kind of like that when they're from the desert. So anyway, so articulation, ball joint at the head, ball joint at the shoulders bilateral, ball joint at the elbows bilateral. He has swivel action, I'd say inferior to the elbow, superior to the wrist, bilateral. There is no ball joint articulation, just swivel. He's got the crunch going on in the mid-thorax. He does swivel around. Okay, there is no swiveling at the waist. There's hip movement here, forward, leg goes back somewhat. He can have lateral movement with the hips as well. That's one of these cool things about G.I. Joes, is that they can do high kicks. There's swivel action at the knees. There's no ball joint, so that's somewhat restrictive. And he's swivel action at the ankles. Well, yeah, kind of ball joint. Yeah, ball joint at the action, I'm sorry. And then we can see the hole down here. And for his action figure stand, there's 2 pegs. And that's really about it, I suppose. I like the figure. I don't necessarily regret selling all the Joes I had. Some of them I wish I wouldn't have, though, so I guess that might be somewhat of a regret. But hey, happy to have this one. Well, I guess that'll just about do it. And my next G.I. Joe review will probably be Zartan or Wraith. So thanks for staying by and watching, and give me a like and a subscribe. I mostly do Star Wars stuff, but I do G.I. Joe as well every now and then. But I guess I'll also end this with the original Doc. One of the original G.I. Joes that I had as a child, and one of the few that I kept. I forgot about that. So there we go. There's the 2. Well, hey, thanks for that like and subscribe. Until next time, everybody, take care. Have a good one.